Although we are active Church of Satan members, we do not speak on their behalf. The following contains language in an adult manner and poorly impersonated celebrity voices. Listener discretion is advised.
This is Marilyn, and I'd be ever so happy if you'd listen to The Devil You Know. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Episode 2121. Dorian,
what's up, man?
What's
happening?
What you been up to today? Or actually this week?
Just living life, living the dream, man. How's your life?
Awesome.
How's things going? I know you're doing some redecorating in the house, remodeling.
Flooring. We my buddy and I ripped up some. Yeah, let's talk about that because this is fucking interesting. We ripped up some old carpet and scraped the floor and took the tackless.
So you're busy. That's what you're saying.
yeah. We're just gonna put some good wood flooring down in the bedrooms and
you're not like dancing on the sand,
dude. Like Rio? Yeah, definitely.
To be exposed later.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So hey, you know what? I saw something you did on Facebook. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Talking about it. You did I didn't even know these existed, but it's called a note. You published a note.
Yeah, you know what? It's so stupid, but apparently, I guess there must be a limit to how much you're allowed to say in your comment before they turn it into a note or something. I don't know. So yeah, I had to write it in a note, but yeah. So I'm sure you saw the video. I guess it went viral this week of the lady who was shoved viciously out of the Donald Trump rally.
Oh, yes. She was kind of laughing or smiling about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody seems to point that part out, but yeah, you know, somebody on Facebook last week, they posted that video, and you know, we're saying something about, you know, what a shame this is, and you know, I'm not a Trump fan, but I mean, let's face it, when it comes to this election, no matter who wins, we're all taking a bite of a shit sandwich, you know?
Hold the bread.
Yeah. And so whatever. I'm not a supporter of his, but you got to call things as they are. And I said, I think that she got exactly what she deserved and what she wanted, more importantly, because she didn't set up, you know, a proper picketing line or somewhere out. This was actually an indoor convention of his.
It was a Trump rally, right? It was.
It was a Trump rally, and it was indoors. It wasn't like it wasn't out on the street corner.
Yeah.
She walked in it. She walked past all the people to the front of the stage, and while he was on stage exercising his rights and giving his speech, she started interrupting him and yelling and shouting whatever. And so naturally, Trump said, "Oh, get her out of here." And so people, of course, started shoving her, and they didn't punch her or kick her; they shoved her.
I think it was actual like a security guy, right? He was an older one, but it was
the whole crowd until she got towards the back. But it was people, you know, other people were shoving her and stuff too.
Ouch. Okay,
and she smiled the whole time. She probably smiled the whole time knowing it was on camera.
Yeah. I think she was taking a selfie during
the media has turned this. Yeah, of course, and and you know, the media has turned it into this whole racism thing, and I thought, you know, I'm a white male, and if I went to the front of that same crowd and did the same thing, they would shove me out of there. It has nothing to do with racism. They said sexism. So yeah, I mean, you know, I said that this woman deserved it, and of course, the response I get immediate was, why? Because she's a woman or because she's black? And I'm like, why the fuck did you even think that? Like, that's not what I thought.
Think about, if you really look at the people that say those things, and throughout history, there have been some valid, you know, times to say those things. They have been, okay, yeah, you know what, that was something that was racist, so that was sexism. But those are few and far between. Most of the time, the greater percentage of people that say those things are very weak people, very weak-minded people. They just use it as a crutch. It's a go-to excuse to just turn something into, you know, a pity party. you know?
Exactly what it was. And of course, like our modern society, especially thanks to social media, is becoming more and more like that. And it's becoming this, it's kind of like a worshiping of weaklings. And, we got to call everyone a bully. Like, isn't it, if you get a crowd of people to go after somebody and calling them a bully, forcing them to apologize for things they said, isn't that a form of bullying? It's the crowd bullying the bully. I mean, it's kind of stupid the way I don't know, man. We just like kind of, not we, but it just seems
society
like too many.
As a whole,
They're just kind of like worshiping the weaklings. And like I said, I said in my little rant that I kind of hope Donald Trump does win, because he will most certainly bring on World War III. Nuclear fallout will kill out most of the people. We can live in the Mad Max society where the strong eat the weak, and we don't have this shit anymore. So
yeah, I just need more water. Sounds good. No, but I mean,
well, we're gonna have to get in shape first, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is our warning time. So as soon as I finish this cake,
we'll start working out now. Yeah.
Put this work down.
So you're saying that? Did you get called a racist or sexist by people when
it wasn't blatant like you're a racist, but it was.
Well, you're not Nathan Gray.
But it. Yeah, I'm not Nazi like Nathan, but no. It was just funny because I pointed out, well, she kind of deserved this because. You don't get upset when somebody walks into a lion's cage with a stake wrapped around their neck and they go like, "Oh my god, I got bit." Like that's you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And she didn't. If she had set up outside, and did her own thing,
peaceably,
her own rally. That's a totally different situation. And like you said, I mean the problem with this kind of stuff is there is occasionally an actual act of racism or sexism that we can't really take seriously anymore because there's so much of this bullshit that we hear all the time.
I chalk it up to this political correctness movement. It's horse shit. It's supposed to be America. I should be able to say anything I want. If it bothers you, oh fucking well. It's words. Yeah. I didn't physically touch you. I didn't physically attack you. I didn't bully you. I didn't do anything that's illegal to you. And these people are like, you can't even say something. He offended me. I want him arrested. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it is nuts. Like you can't. You can only say what you want to say if you're part of the mass, of the weak mass. If you're an individual, you definitely can't say what you want to say. You don't have that freedom. We think that we do, but and obviously Facebook has always been a good example of that. You can get people blocked and in trouble for shit all the time on there. It's easy,
We should have a segment.
It seems like all of us.
Go ahead.
No. Listen, yeah.
I mean, we should have a segment where we just allow people to come on and say whatever the fuck they want to. Because, that's what it's all about. I mean, if it offends you, don't fucking listen.
We could interview Nathan when he's in Facebook jail, since
Oh, Nathan's man. He's listening and going, "You prick." But seriously,
I will not be silenced.
Yeah. This is Goat Tuesday.
I don't know, man. It's just it just seems like there's just so many of these people just need something to whine about. People aren't happy unless they're complaining about something.
Oh yeah. What's funny to me is you'll have one or two people that actually bring up a good cause or something like that. They really believe in something, and that's great for them. If that satisfies their need to do something about something because they've had enough, that's great. But then you have these thousands or million followers that jump on board just for the sake of jumping on the fucking bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even really know what the thing's
like
about.
They're looking for something to jump on and be a part of.
Yeah, like Black Lives Matter. Come on,
wait, what was that?
Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's the most. That's one of the most ridiculous things ever.
Of course, it is. Yeah.
everybody's lives, matter, should matter to a point where, we don't have to fear the cops killing us because we're pulling out our ID out of our back pocket. I mean, jeez. But
well, and I mean, I know that's a whole different rant, but I mean, you almost never see a video of somebody getting shot by a cop when the cop says, get down on the ground, and they just go, yes, sir, and do it. That's never the situation. It's always, pulling something out of their pocket, or are you? Why should I do that?
Why are you doing this to me? What for? What for? It's like, dude, they're already ramped up. Just iron it out later.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. Let the cop feel safe. Let him feel like he's in control.
Yeah.
Then he'll listen to you. But yeah, whatever. I mean, I can only feel so sorry for the. So in tattooing we say black lines matter, but
They do. I'm looking at mine. They're fucking sweet, dude. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, let's dance upon the sands.
The Law of Gyps.
Law number 8. In social situations, I surpassingly favor stultiloquy over misanthropy. When I'm out at a venue, an event, or a party, I love to have fun. Even if I'm not the center of attention, even if I'm the quiet and reserved one, I still make a good time out of that situation. I remove myself, it is not to my liking. I never choose to be the one to spoil the party, ruin my own fun, or put a damper on anyone else's enjoyments or engagement in fun activity. I would much rather a time of unproductive, uncreative humor, absurd anecdotes, raunchy jokes, extremely tasteless humor, even if it offends others. I'd rather have a good time of excess and indulgence than a time of sitting in the corner in self-pity with a pout on my face, wishing I was never there or never born. Life is a good party. And who the fuck wants to leave a good party? Certainly not this individual right here. Hail Satan.
Infernal Link magazine is a quarterly magazine focused on publishing extremely dark and sexually charged fiction and poetry. In addition to our violently erotic fictional offerings, we have interviews and a regular music column written by Dave, the Dave Lipscomb, that explore and expose the reader to artists and acts of a diabolically sinful nature. This magazine is not for the faint of heart or prudish.
The current and all back issues of Infernal Ink magazine may be found through Amazon Kindle or in print or PDF to Lulu.com. For more information about Infernal Ink, as well as Hydra M Star and Dave Lipscomb's other publications, can be found through HydraMStar.com, Facebook.com Infernal Ink magazine, or the Babel's Gallery on Facebook.
You know how I know my balls are sweaty? Cause they're sticking to my fucking leg.
What the fuck? Yes, I fucking love this one.
Set to last.
Yes.
All right, John. So for our interview, episode 21.
Yes.
You know, one thing that we have no shortage of, which I'm really glad about, is people with many different artistic skills. And today we have one of the cream of the crop when it comes to artistry. Tell us about our guest.
We've got Reverend of the Church of Satan, Daniel Byrd, everyone.
Hello, hello.
How goes it?
What's going on, man? How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah, just looking forward to this. I know we've been trying to get together for a while, so it's nice to finally sit down and make it happen.
Heck yeah.
It's always the trick for people in different time zones.
Oh yeah,
all together.
I know Dorian and I are on opposite ends of the nation here, so we got to catch everybody in the middle. So
right. Yeah, it's funny.
So
you're in Florida now, so I'm literally right next door, but not exactly. So
yeah,
totally different time zone.
It's just changes there. Yeah, I know exactly. Of course. It figures. So yeah, I'm the first one ready for bed now.
We could tell it in your voice. You're like, all right, John, episode 21.
What he was skiddly dee. I'm kicking my heels up. Woo! All right.
Skippity boo bop. Christopher Reeve. All right. So, Daniel, how goes it, man? What you been up to lately? What have you been doing? What's hot?
Well, I got a couple of Baphomets I'm working on. I've got one or two that I'm tinkering with, and I am also experimenting with sculpture again. I haven't been able to do as much as I'd like in the last month or so, just dealing with paid customers.
Right.
But when I can, I'm trying to get back into that for a special project that I'm hoping to cultivate over the next few months. I'll probably be pestering you guys to come back and talk about that once it's ready.
Yeah, anytime. That'd be great. But
yeah,
speaking of your altarpieces, man, kudos. Those things are amazing. And I just saw the one you did for Mr. Kruver, gold leafing, right?
Oh yeah. Wow. That was definitely a challenge. That was my first time working with it, so I was lucky that he was very patient and understanding, and yeah, he just hung back and let me do my thing, and I was really, really pleased with it when I finally got it to where I felt comfortable sending it to him.
Right, yeah.
How long have you been doing those now? Quite a few under your belt now, huh?
Yeah, I guess it's probably been 10 or 12 years. Started back on Letters to the Devil, the message board. I had just made one for myself on a circular canvas, and so just kind of showing it off, and a couple of people were interested. They kind of wanted one for themselves, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And then it was probably 2 or 3 years later that I started doing the 36-inch, the larger ones. Pretty much ever since, I kind of took a break from doing them for about a year, but the demand was still there, and a lot of the knockoffs started really showing up on eBay and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I created something of a vacuum when I stopped doing them, so I got back into it, and yeah, it's they've been as popular as ever.
Except no substitutes.
So, yeah, right. So the 36-inch, is that the largest one that you do?
Yeah.
So you've never done like a 4.5, 5 foot?
No.
Will
I'd
you?
like to one day.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Okay.
John thinks every painting has to be retarded huge. So
right.
Well, I'm trying to make up for something. I was over circumcised. I think I said that before. Anyway, I was gonna put it on the hood of my car.
His car is huge. Everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the biggest guns.
Whatever. Asshole. And then anyway, no, they're awesome. They really look good. And then, I mean, did you start doing the Baphomets Because you do art, and you paint otherwise. I mean, did that start first, or did you start painting in the Baphomet first?
Oh no, I've been doing art for as long as I can remember. That was just always my thing. I was always that kid in class who, instead of paying attention to what the teacher said, I was drawing, and and in art classes I always excelled, but my other classes didn't do so great. And so yeah, I just although I went to art college, the Savannah College of Art and Design.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't take any painting classes while I was there. I majored in sequential art, so it's all very pen and ink and penciling, a little bit of computers, but it really wasn't until I got out of that that I started experimenting with actual paint. And so as far as painting goes, I'm self-taught. And yeah, so I've just been developing my style for the last, 10, 12 years in that department. And, it's always fun. I'm always trying to teach myself something new and kind of learn from the mistakes of, the past and build on top of that. So, getting better and better. I like to think anyway.
Awesome.
You've got a lot of horror theme, obviously, in a lot of your paintings. Is that does that come from maybe a childhood love of horror movies or stories? Or
yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies when I was a kid, so they're really taboo. So whenever I would go to a friend's house, and we'd stay up all night watching horror movies, it was just the most amazing thing. And but I was allowed to watch, the old black and white Mickey Mouse cartoon where he's in the haunted house and everything like that. So Halloween was always my favorite time of year because the kid-friendly Halloween stuff that my mom would let me watch would come on. And I would just eat it up. And so I was always drawing skeletons. I was kind of obsessed with skeletons. And
of course.
Yeah, and, just kind of, and of course, then I learn about other artists, and I of course got into death metal in high school, and what really drew me to that was the cover art. It's this brutal, graphic, like Cannibal Corpse and
Cannibal Corpse album covers.
Yeah, absolutely, huge. And I would recreate some of that stuff, and and so it just went from there. So I like anything from the kind of more classic gothic horror type stuff to the really gory slasher kind of thing. I just run the gamut, and it's always just brought me a lot of joy for some reason.
It looks great. Where can people go to see your art or contact you about doing pieces for them?
Facebook's probably the easiest place. I've got my art page, just Coffin Rust, and my website's coffinrust.com, and it's severely outdated. I need to put some new stuff on it soon, but
I know how that feels.
Yeah. For the most part, just hit me up on Facebook, and we'll talk about it.
So, Coffin Rust, how did that come about?
Let's see. I was in college, and I was trying to come up with a witty domain name, and kind of an online handle for message boards and such. And I was just kind of brainstorming, and I was like, well, I like coffins, and I had just built a coffin bookcase. And then I had a typo negative October Rust poster hanging on the wall, and I was just kind of put two and two together, like coffin Rust. Yeah, that's got a nice ring to it. So.
You didn't try Coffin October first?
No.
You're like, no, that doesn't work. The Rust works. Man, that's funny. Awesome.
And great album, by the way. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Love you to death.
Right on, man.
Awesome.
I know from the pictures that you quite often put on Facebook that I would love to come and just explore in your library. You've got,
I'm sure you would,
amazing collection.
Appreciate that.
Is that something that you put a lot of focus into building up? I know we're kind of leading up to, of course, other things here, but
yeah, I guess I started kind of soft collecting books from the Satanic Witch bibliography years ago. Just kind of looking through, and I think like Inside the Black Room. Just the title was cool sounding, so I picked that up. And there was a few little here and there, and then there was some that I actually already owned and didn't realize they were in the bibliography. And I probably had about maybe a dozen or 15 when Magister Slaughter spearheaded the Complete Witch Illustrated Bibliography project.
Right.
And the focus of that blog, which is just completewitch.com, is to showcase each title and to kind of give it a little bit of a synopsis of its different printings or quotes and pictures and different cover art that it's had over the years. And in doing this, it just made more sense as we made each post to own the book. That way you can actually see it. You're not having to like just dig through Wikipedia or Google to figure anything out. So I just started kind of buying them as we were making the posts, and that's just kind of. And then of course I'm kind of a completionist. I have to, when I start collecting something, I have to get it all. And and so that I've got a whole bookcase just dedicated to that collection. And I'm only missing 3 books now.
Wow.
So, and those are probably going to be something of my white well.
Oh wow, nice.
But yeah, it's been fun. It's been really gratifying though.
Yeah, and what about photography? I mean, do you have like a much experience in that? Because I see, you take a lot of pictures online, and I enjoy like almost every one of them. They're really like great shots. The focus to the unfocused to just the eeriness of one of them, or the lighting. I mean, do you have a lot of experience with that?
I appreciate that, and it just kind of boils down to experimenting. Just kind of. My wife, she does photography, and she's won several awards and everything. So I kind of would, get her to show me, okay, what setting do I need to have it on to do this, and she would kind of help me out, and then I would just kind of use my, just knowledge of composition or whatever, and just kind of try to look at things a little, from different angles, or I really like to take just ordinary, everyday things that are usually passed up, by maybe dozens of people, and just kind of showcase it. And hey, this is kind of neat looking.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, it's just something that's kind of fun and satisfying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoy them when you post them. I'm like, wow, what a cool shot. I never would have noticed that. Would have walked right by that. Or did my thing, like you said, just overlooked it. When's the book coming out?
Which
your photography book?
Actually, I haven't actually mentioned this to anybody, so this is a exclusive, I guess.
Yeah.
But
oh damn!
A while back I did a series of photos that were kind of an homage to the Storyville district of New Orleans, which was kind of the legal red light district. And there was this photographer back then, Belloc, who, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I've always just seen it spelled. But he did these beautiful portraits of prostitutes. And I kind of recreated that atmosphere and that environment. And I would like to make a small photo book kind of with a lot of that photography. I'd like to get some other models in on it, though. So it's probably a project that'll be down the road a little bit, but it's definitely one of those things that I want to do eventually. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
that's great. There's a bunch of prostitutes downtown Phoenix. I don't think they have all their teeth though. They really would. They're not very photogenic.
Yeah, well, most of these back then. I mean, this is like Orleans in the early 1900s, so. There were some pretty frumpy prostitutes back then. That's kind of their pretty, though. It's kind of
they had to deal with unwashed dicks, so.
Yeah,
So I just ate, dude.
You always just ate.
You bastard. That's funny. Every picture you see on Facebook just had dinner with the Shaws. Oh, fuck? That's so funny. I like food. So do you. What are you talking about?
I know, yeah.
Anyway.
I'm very pro food myself. So.
Hell yeah. I gotta survive.
Well, let's get back a little bit to your upbringing, if you don't mind. You talked about what sounded like maybe a strict upbringing. Did you grow up in a religious household?
It's hard to describe. My mom, I grew up with my mother, and my grandmother and grandfather lived with us until they passed away. And it's funny because we would go to church, and she was kind of serious about that, but it was mostly kind of to impress one of her aunts.
Yeah.
So at home, she was kind of weird about certain music. I couldn't watch MTV and I couldn't watch horror movies, but it wasn't like beat into my head that, you have to worship God, you have to do this, that, and the other. But we did go to church, and we went to the Salvation Army church, which was kind of weird too, because most people don't know it's a church. And
I never did, and I think you're the second or third person on our show that's actually have said that, and I've
really?
never heard of that before.
I thought it was a thrift store. What do you mean?
Yeah, it is. But it started as a church, and of course, it's mostly known for its homeless shelters and thrift stores. But so it's like not only was I, going to church, I was kind of going to this like homeless shelter church, like so my friends didn't really understand what's going on, and
good times.
And in my kind of like teens, this uncle who. My uncle, not related to my mother's aunt, he got super, super religious and decided that pretty much, he kind of got swept away with some of the remnants of the Satanic Panic. And so he started giving my mother all these books and videotapes, the pagan invasion and what are your kids really reading and all this kind of stuff.
Satan wants you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Satan seller.
And one of the books, I think it's called 13 Things Witches Don't Want Parents to Know or something like that. And it's a gold mine of comedy. I mean, it's hilarious. I bought a copy after I became an adult because this is the most ridiculous book, and I'm trying to tell people about it, and they're like, no, there can't be a book that silly. I'm like, but it is. One of the chapters describes how the members of Duran Duran apparently can infiltrate the dreams of little girls and have sex with them.
Like Kanye. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a reflex.
Yeah, exactly. They're hungry like a wolf.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
And so, yeah, it's just this absurd stuff. And I think my mother was getting a little creeped out by it. And so I remember when
Rio?
No. But,
stop it. Oh, shit.
The Duran Duran puns are going to go on for the rest of the interview. But I think she finally figured out that it was all pretty silly. It took a few years. But she was really concerned about the music I was listening to, and of course I'm getting into my teens now, so I'm wanting to explore things like death metal, and that of course doesn't really jive with someone who's kind of freaked out by subliminal messages. So and it was there was a few awkward patches. She went through my CDs one time and found, and the one CD she happens to land on was a punk band called the Dwarves. I don't know if either of you have heard of them.
Yeah.
Okay. A punk band called the Doors?
Dwarves.
Oh, the Dwarves. Sorry. Yeah.
Their album.
I'm a little tinny-eyed.
Yeah, their album Blood, Guts, and Pussy.
It sounds like a Dance to Sod album.
Yeah. And the cover art has some like naked chicks covered in blood with a dwarf and a dead rabbit.
Girls on film. Sorry.
And so she kind of freaked out over that, and I just got kind of clever though, and just started kind of like hiding things better.
You have to do the same thing. Yeah.
I would actually I collected comics also. And of course she was cool with that. She didn't really ever look at my comics. So what I would do was I bought this trunk that could lock. Well, I knew the lock would be suspicious. So I would kind of know when she's going to be around, and I would empty all my satanic CDs and books and evil stuff and porn and kind of stash that somewhere, and then fill it full of comics. And then I kind of act like I'm organizing my comics, and then let her see what's in the trunk. And then when she would like leave again, I would toss out all the comics and put all my Satanism and porn back. That worked out pretty well.
And your girl's on film. I gotta stop. I can't.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
She obviously had a view to a kill.
Everybody, like all the younger people listening to this, are going, "What are they talking about?"
Right.
So out of touch.
Shit. That's awesome. So, how old were you when you first heard about Satanism or read about it?
Well, I guess I was probably around 17. I hadn't, despite all the death metal and black metal, I hadn't heard of Anton LaVey or the Church of Satan, and I had already figured out I was an atheist by this point, and so I just really liked that imagery. The pentagrams and the goats and the naked chicks was all just awesome.
Of course.
So, and me and a bunch of friends, we were in New Orleans and just kind of hanging out, and I went to one of the occult stores, and I was specifically looking for like reference books for my art because I wanted to get more accurate depictions of demons and whatnot. And of course, one of the books I picked out was the Satanic Bible. I'm like, well, surely this will tell me what demons look like, because I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so I just picked it up along with probably a small handful of other things. And that's the one that kind of freaked all my other friends out. And so, of course, I have to start reading it in front of them. But as I'm reading it, I'm kind of like hanging out in the car while they were like wandering around doing other stuff. I continue reading, and it was really, really captivating. It wasn't anything like I thought it was going to be. And
we know.
Yeah. And yeah, from then on out, it was all about, I need to learn more about this Anton LaVey guy. I picked up Magister Barton's biography soon after that, and then picked up more of his books, and it just snowballed from there. And finally joined the Church of Satan. I think it was 2002 or 3. I remember my red card arrived on the spring equinox, and it's just been
perfect timing, huh?
Yeah, it's just and it's just been wonderful. So
since then you've become rather notorious.
Oh, dude.
You got him.
I almost didn't know where you were going. Oh man. Oh, that's funny.
I'm out of the song title, so.
Do you believe in shame? That's a song title. So. Damn it.
Oh, shit.
That's funny. So I lost my train of thought. Oh shit.
Well, obviously, I mean, it made a big enough impact on you to become a member, and then of course, a lot of people are looking to you to help decorate their altars and wall space, and then you're definitely using Satanism to propel you to the area where you want to be. So, kudos, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
God, what do we need to cover?
I can't stop thinking of Duran, man. You got fucked up this whole thing for me. Oh, there's so much I wanted to know. So crazy fun.
Oh, really? Is that bad?
No. And I'm like a weirdo. So like I'm looking at Skype right now. This will get edited out, but I'm looking at Skype and I see Dorian's mug, and then next to it is just this big pink box with a DB in it. And for some reason I'm thinking dick bag, and I don't know why. I'm just a weirdo. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
I guess we're just a bunch of wild boys. I brought out another one.
Yeah, but I have to edit that out. Or I'll try. Maybe I'll get that in.
This show's gonna be a drinking game for every Duran reference. You gotta take a shot.
And it turns into a "Now You're Drunk" episode at the end. Fuck. So we touched on that. Okay. Do you have any projects that you're working on now, or anything that you want to let everybody know about?
To one, but anything else that you want to cover?
Yeah, I mean, well, the blog is ongoing, and the bibliography project, and it's severely, again, it's past time to be updated. There's 170 books, so I think we've done maybe 50 something.
Jeez.
And originally we wanted to do one a week, and of course, life gets in the way, and this is just something that we can only afford to do it during our free time, and there's not a lot of free time.
Right.
So
yeah. We know how that is.
Yeah, exactly. So I sometimes I'll just put aside a Sunday afternoon to just kind of hammer on a post, and so this is going to be like an ongoing project probably for a few years. We do, and Kevin alluded to it at the last conclave in DC. We do want to release put together some kind of a book that it will kind of touch on some of the authors in the bibliography, some of the books or the subjects, and it'll also be a bit of a collection of, hopefully anyway, a collection of essays of how the book specifically has maybe helped people, with their careers or their hobbies or their interests, or to, meet that special someone or whatever. And again, that's one of those projects is, we definitely want to do it, but finding the time to actually make it happen has been a little tricky. But I've got several notes. I've got several things that I've typed up. If Kevin's listening to this, maybe that'll make him happy to know that I haven't forgotten. I really haven't. And so that's hopefully going to come out down the line, in the not too distant future. But
that's cool, man.
But it's just and I could probably talk about it all night. But the bibliography itself is there's just so many bizarre, weird books in it that was one thing when I started collecting them that I realized. Like there's a book on the history of bathrooms. And then there's like a Name Your Baby, like a book of baby names.
Yeah. Weird, yeah.
And then there's more, stuff that you could kind of expect. There's like burlesque books and books on the human form, and you can kind of see how that evolved into the synthesizer clock and
right.
And so there's all these. I like to refer to it sometimes as part of Satanism's root system, because all this stuff kind of come together in something of a consilience of knowledge. There's all these different, very wide variety of subject matters that kind of come together for this one topic. And so that's just been really fascinating to kind of map that out and see where it goes and. Rabbit holes. It's just rabbit holes after rabbit holes,
Right on.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, listen, before we let you go, we ask this of all our guests. What does Satan mean to you?
A mirror that only Satanists can see their reflection in.
Wow.
That's that.
That's an excellent answer.
I gotta say, this is the 21st episode. Yeah, definitely the shortest answer, but it's definitely like the sixth best. That's crazy. Who'd have thunk it?
That's really awesome. I mean, really, like as many answers as we've had to nail it like that. You were thinking about this ahead of time.
I know. Can you say it again slowly? That was awesome.
A mirror in which only Satanists can see their reflection.
That's actually poetic.
You have to do like a slow down of that. Like.
And then we laughing at the end.
You motherfucker. Now all the kids are going, was that Duran? Oh, that's awesome. Daniel, honestly, it's been great talking to you, finally, and getting you on here and just shooting a shit and learning about you. And you now are a devil we know. We want to thank you for coming on, seriously.
Absolutely, man. Definitely.
Yeah, thank you both. It's really been a pleasure.
Awesome. Until next time, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
This is our generic pre-recorded outro for the times that we forgot to record an outro. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Devil You Know podcast.
This was episode 21.
And we would like to thank our guest,
Reverend the Church of Satan, Daniel Byrd. And we'd like to thank you all for listening. Wait, you spelled it wrong, dude. It's listening. All for listening to this episode. Remember when we had a funny part in the beginning?
That was a real riot.
Yes. And then in the middle, there was really good information.
Indeed. And a commercial or two as well.
Right. And then toward the end, we really had a blast.
It was the best time I've had all day.
Thank you once again. And hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Bye, bye, baby, bye, bye.